Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of the syllabus overview for LSSL 5360, the Children's Lit class for the summer of 2018. This is Dr. Lassane again, and in this particular piece of the screencast, I want to go over the course requirements and the due dates, point totals, all that good stuff like that. This is the heart of how do I get my A in class, which I know is the burning question many of you hold. So you have 3 basic assignments for the class. One is to create annotated bibliographies for your outside reading. Your outside reading consists of 50 books for children, and basically they come from 10 books from 5 different lists. And you're to prepare each list, each of the 5 lists, as if it were something that you were going to hand out at a family night to your principal, to your faculty, to put up at your blog site for the library. So in other words, make it look nice in addition to following the directions that you have to do for these. So the list that you're going to read from are the Caldecott, and the Caldecott can be either the winners or the honor books. And it'd be nice to do a 50-year or so range. So don't just do the last 10 years of winners, go back and look at winners from the 90s, the 80s. Remember, 50 years is not a very large range for an award that's been given out since 1928. You'll also read 10 books from the New York Times bestseller list for children, the picture book list, published between January and June of this year. These are the more recent ones that probably are very popular with kids at book fairs and things like that. So you'll be looking at those books. You'll read 10 books from the Prix de Belpré list. Those can be the winners themselves or the honor books. The Illustrator Awards will be the shorter books, and you may certainly do those, but you may also choose to elect to do some from the author list as well. That is totally up to you. It can be a mix. Like I said, that's your choice. You will read 10 books from the Coretta Scott King list, the winners and or honor books, and cover pretty much a 30-year range there. This award's been given out since 1972. You should have no trouble at all finding those books. And finally, 10 books from the Geisel Award list, either the winners or the honor books. These are books that basically are similar to Theodor Geisel, Dr. Seuss. And so you'll have a lot of wonderful books. You'll see that Mo Willems has won quite a few of these. So you're going to read these, and they're going to be turned in at various times in the semester. You can check with due dates, and you'll see them up there. So that's the first assignment, not necessarily in the order you'll turn it in, but it's the first assignment here in the syllabus. The next assignment has to do with blogging those 30 books that we've already talked about. The 20 books that we'll all read, and then the 10 books for which you have choices in terms of the authors. There'll be a lot more information of this in a later screencast. There'll also be a tab under assignments that will take you through this as well. And finally, you'll complete assignments involving the online textbook. You will also find more directions for this in a later screencast and under the assignments tab. So those are the 3 major assignments for this course. Here are blank pages, but eventually we'll get to some more information about these. Here are the due dates for the assignments. Your textbook posts will come up first. And you can see I have them separated into chapter 1 through 5. Those are the first 5 items on the table of contents, chapters 6 through 10, and then chapters 11 through 13. One's due June 8th, one's due June 15th, one's due June 22nd. None of these will take you very long to view and or read. Then we get to required reading. These are the lists, the Caldecott list, the Prix de Belpré list, those. You'll turn in your first 2 lists on June 29th. Those can be any 2. Then your 3rd list on July the 6th, and your 2 final lists, 4 and 5, on July the 13th. And finally, then we'll look at that required reading from the front of the syllabus. Those 20 books and 10 by the author. Those will be due, half of them due July 20th, the other half due July 27th. I know these things are coming very quickly, but the semester, as you know, is a pretty quick semester too. What you'll see here are university policies, and I'm basically just kind of skimming through these rather quickly because you can read these on your own, but probably the most important one, and I've already flown past it once, but the most important one is I don't take late work. And you just need to get these dates written down in stone and know that you're going to have to turn them in when they're due. We just don't have much time to go through them this semester. So you can certainly read the rest of this on your own. These are all just things that we need to tell you so that we're being totally upfront and there are no surprises later on. And finally, we should come down to, well, conceptual framework. Eventually, we're going to come down to the course grading, which is, I know, what you all want to see. And I promise you it's coming soon. A lot of the things you see in here are mandated by the state and federal government. We put them in here. We know that most of you don't even look at them, and that's sad because there's a lot of good stuff in here, actually. But we know that what you're most interested in are the assignments, the due dates, and then how those things are graded, how you get your A, so to speak. And here we go. Yay, there it is. Course evaluation. You have 3 assignments. Each is worth 100 points. So, for example, your outside reading, annotated bibliography, you're going to turn in 2 chunks. We will divide up the points for each time you turn it in. So for the textbook assignments, it's divided into 3 chunks. That means 33, 33, 34 points for each of those. The blogging of required books, the same kind of thing. We'll divide up the points each time. That's 300 points total to get an A. You'll make 90% of the 300 points. That's 270. To get a B, you'll get 80% of the points. That's 240. If you get below 210 total points, you will have failed the class and have to take it over. That doesn't happen very often with people who keep on trying, keep on persevering, but do note that you can still get an A having lost 30 points on assignments. So let's not freak out the first time something's due and you lose a point or 2. Let's just kind of proceed with caution, try not to lose any more. So those are the highlights, I think, of the syllabus, and you can certainly go on and read the rest of them yourself, but that should get you to where you want to be.